Hello everyone, and welcome to week 4 of the online course development program. This is the last week without a group session for this semester, so next week we'll have our first group session, so I'm very much looking forward to that. And again, that's going to be on Friday from 9:30 to 11:30. I will also remind you next week, and you will have a meeting request for that. You should have that already in your calendars. So this video is going to just be a quick overview of where we are and what we're doing, because I know that you're working hard. I've started to meet with you one-on-one, and I now have a firm grasp on what each and every one of you are doing. So that's always a good sign for week 4. So last week we looked at developing online assessments for your course, and that was week 3 in our shared group shell. And this week we're starting to look at learning activities and online pedagogy. So I'm just going to jump over to our Blackboard shell. Okay, so here we are in our Blackboard shell. And as I said, we're looking at learning activities and online pedagogy. So there are some articles to read for looking at what it means to teach online and what are the differences between online teaching and in-class teaching. We're going to look at this in depth next week as well in our group session. We're going to look at learning-centered design for online learning. But as always, I'd like to give you a little preview of what's here. The other piece that I'd like you to take a look at is we have a video that was created by Mark Dorsey looking at discussion boards and what are the ins and outs of those and how do you mark them. And the reason why that's there is because discussions are usually the meat and potatoes of a lot of our online courses. So I like to get that right up front to give you an idea of what that can look like. And then also we've got some information on making different documents accessible to your students. So that brings me into my next point, and that is of AODA, Accessibility Ontario Disability Act, compliance within your online course. And that, anytime we say the word compliance, that can be a scary word. So here at the college, we do not have a sort of set in stone checklist that I could give you for your online course. As faculty, you've all taken or will be getting messages to take the AODA compliance faculty training. It is very classroom focused, but basically it's asking you to look at your course and think about how would a student with different types of disability interact with this course, and what could I do to make this more manageable for them. So I have 2 articles that will be in the email that this is attached to, but also I'll just show you them quickly. So the first one is from the University of Toronto, who have done some work on accessibility of courses for Blackboard, which is obviously what we're on as well. So it gets into course materials, course tools, course management, assessment, and general information. And there's some good best practices or good practices in this article, so I ask you to take a look at them. It breaks it down into a way that is very manageable, because we're not asking you to redesign any of your current courses. This is just a look to the future and what can we do for our students. Okay, so the second article is actually created by myself, and I'll say right up front, this is not college policy. This is not the be-all end-all. This is just me trying to make sense of some of this for you and giving you some examples. So this is based on, I'm just going to go to their website. This is based on this from the ministry, the Web Accessibility Initiative. And as you can see, this is a very long, very in-depth, thrilling document for me to have gone through, but I took the pain for you guys. So I broke it down. They had a sort of at a glance piece of their website, and here they talk about how your online content needs to be perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. So when we look back at the document I created, so I've broken that down. There's still the links back to the actual ministry guidelines, but for example, it says provide text alternative to non-text content. Well, I'm not sure if all of you know that when you embed an image in Blackboard, you're given the opportunity to give it some text, image description and title. These are known as alt tags, and it's very helpful for your students who use screen readers if you do annotate your images, just as an example. So then I'll only show you a couple that you can read through this yourself, but provide captions, other alternative multimedia. Again, not sure if you're aware, if you use YouTube, There is a closed captioning that's built in. So this is our last week video. So I've turned on the closed captioning down at the bottom there. You as a user don't have to turn that on and off, it's just there, but I did want to let you know that that's available. So I'd ask you to take a look through this and put some thought towards it as you're developing your course, because we're at the stage where you should start to be building some of that content in your online course. So I just wanted to put that front and center for you. Okay, so that's all I have for this week. Like I said, I'm meeting with all of you one-on-one throughout the semester. By now, we have their first deliverable, if you think back to those deliverables. So the deliverables that we talked about in our one-on-one meetings, we are now in week 4, so you should have your bio up in your dev shell. There's some expectations there, and as well as having your up-to-date course outline linked. And this is, again, it's not your syllabus, it's your course outline. If you want to start adding your syllabus, that's excellent as well. But those are 2 pieces that should be up in your shell, and I will be meeting with all of you as we go through, and I am looking forward to our first group meeting, which is on next Friday. Thanks, guys.